Hey, what is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, Cardano, of course, did yesterday see an absolutely amazing breakout of this symmetrical triangle in which had formed coming off of this big clearing of this resistance line. So as we were within the symmetrical triangle, we talked about how explosive of a move it would take to get us to the upside, and of course, that is exactly what we saw yesterday morning. Well, since then, we can see that the price is consolidating a little bit, but we will get into that in a second here. But what I want to talk about more is the fact that we can see that our 20 SMA on the daily charts has now been established as a pretty strong level of support, and it's working its way outside of this symmetrical triangle in which we saw the price in. Now, this is going to be just a very strong sign, because if it works its way out here, which it should by tomorrow, we should see that it's just an extra level of support. It's an extra layer of protection to stop us from falling down and losing some of these key levels. And so with that, the fact that we are going to have that extra level of support does just kind of help the bull case. It helps the bull case to say that we could be looking at an establishment of support and continuation to the upside. Now, kind of looking at this thing from more of the smaller time frames, let's kind of jump down to the hourlies. We can see that now that we've come out and cleared this symmetrical triangle here, we can see that we've now created something of a bullish flag with a descending wedge on the top. So of course, what we can go ahead and do is look at the price targets, that what we can expect, just if we do break out to the upside, because again, that is what I am expecting. What we're going to do is we're going to take the top of our pole and go to the bottom, and we're just going to take this distance and apply it to here. So let's just say somewhere around here. So if we are to see a breakout to the upside, we can definitely be looking at something around a $2.50 ADA. Now, I honestly do have a specific reason as well as to why I think that is very likely. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our VPVR, which just in general, kind of measures the significance of levels based off of the average volume that gets traded at them. And so whenever we see these big peaks, whenever we see this big accumulation of these yellow bars, that means that these levels are more significant and more likely to serve as resistance, simply for the fact that there's been a larger amount of volume at those levels, so they're then deemed significant, okay? And now the reason that this is going to be important is because in order to make a move, it is going to have to try very hard. It's either going to have to try to climb the hill this way or climb the hill this way. Now, what I like is the fact that we can see that there is more support below us than there is resistance above us in terms of, the VPVR. And we can see that $2.50 price target coming off of this bullish flag here, let's kind of zoom this in a bit, coming off of this bullish flag in which we talked about, we can see that in terms of the VPVR, that is our next valley, meaning that if we can climb above this peak right here, there's a strong likelihood that we roll into the valley. Now, similarly though, if we do climb past this peak on the VPVR, we may be looking at a continued roll to the downside of this valley, down towards $1.90, because as you can see, again, that was our previous low. So you can see that these levels line up. All of these levels line up very, very significantly with each other. So now let's talk about what these levels are and what we can be looking at and expecting. Let's go back out to the dailies. So what we can see right now is the fact that we have, again, these very significant levels that if we clear them, we can find our price targets. Now, I'm going to be out of town for the next 2 days, so I want you guys to pay very, very close attention to these levels. So we're going to be focused on these two peaks. Peak number one that is above us is currently at $2.37, as we can see by this large accumulation of volume. Now, peak number two, which is going to be below us, is going to be sitting right around $2.12, as can be seen again by this big peak here. So what we're going to understand is that whichever way we go is going to likely tell us where we're going to go for about the rest of the month. I would say that is a very, very honest and practical thing there, is that if we do see ourselves clear 237, there's a very strong likelihood that we're going to push into this next valley, which is directly at our price target from this bullish flag, sitting at around $2.50. You guys know that $2.50, $2.49, of course, is a very significant level. And if we are able to accomplish that, I do believe that we are going to see a bigger continuation to the upside to push back up towards $2.70 and $3. Now, if we do see the price start to break down again and we lose those two key levels of support, in which we talked about in yesterday's video, of course, which you should definitely go check out. If we do lose those two key levels of support here and we lose $2.12, there's a strong likelihood that we do roll, as the support that we have under that level becomes very minimal, and there's a good chance that we do roll back towards $1.89 to $1.90 to retest this previous low. So right now, these are the only two levels that I am focused on, especially as I am going out of town for the next 2 days, is paying close attention to 237 and $2.12. But what we do in between those does not matter that much to me. But as long as we get above 237, I will highly suggest to get ready, because if that does happen, we're, in my opinion, likely going to see a big move to the upside, which we cannot see a large amount of resistance all the way back until about $2.84, especially once we get up to 250, right? There's so much upside potential. The RSI is looking absolutely fantastic and set for a big move to the upside. And so overall, I'm still very, very, very bullish. So these two levels that we're looking at, again, 237 and 212, are going to tell us everything that we need to know about where this price is going and what we can expect going forward. And so if you're not going to hear from me for the next 2 days, just keep a close eye on these levels. They're not going to change, but what happens from those levels is definitely going to be a big explosive move to the upside or the downside. And so we have to keep an eye out. Put your alerts on, turn your notifications on Coinbase or crypto.com, whatever you use, and pay close attention. Understand that as we're dribbling in between them, this is a coil effect. And the longer we stay coiled, the more explosive of a move to the upside or downside we're going to see. And so if we're just sitting between these levels for the next 2 days, we could see a pretty explosive move to either direction. It'll happen fast, and you want to make sure that you're able to act on it, okay? And so with that being said, I will update you guys as soon as I am back home on Sunday. I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing weekend, and I cannot wait to see you next time. Peace.